Hello, I'm Corrine Gray, and this is my sample workshop video. Before I started opening spots for teaching at ViPKid, I took a week's worth of workshops. I didn't know it at the time, but this was going to be the best decision for my teaching experience and the students. It was after my first class that I realized I was so confident because of the support I received in the workshops. I think I would be a great addition to the ViPKid Mentor Workshop program because I know the value of workshops for ViPKid teachers. And in my current position as a district program facilitator, I design and facilitate trainings on effective strategies that teachers can use in their classroom to have more successful educational experiences. Today, I'm going to be doing a training on scaffolding for student success. But first, here is a little bit about me. First, I have a Master's of Arts in Teaching. I have a certificate in English language learning. I've been teaching for 17 years, and 7 of those years have been working directly with ESL students. And I spent my last 3 years as a district program facilitator working directly with students. So scaffolding for student success. Since we don't all come from an educational background, it's good just to start with a nice definition of what educational scaffolding is. Educational scaffolding is the support given to a student by an instructor throughout the learning process. So essentially, it is scaffolding, much like a builder uses when they're building a house. They start with the foundation and they build upon that foundation step by step. So why educational scaffolding? I have one word for you: growth. This is the time for students when we're really looking to take them from the know into the new. We want to take what they know and help them to learn new things. And so now, obviously, we know that this benefits the students, but it also benefits the parents and the teacher. But let's just take a look at the student for a second. They're getting clear directions, they're getting clear expectations, they're gradually increasing their independence, and now they have this motivation and momentum to continue on in this educational experience. The parent is seeing that the student is less frustrated, they're having a more enjoyable learning experience, and that makes a happy parent. And a happy parent for a teacher means positive feedback. It means that they're seeing those rebookings. And then most of all, they themselves are starting to feel more successful at teaching inside the classroom. So you're asking yourself, what comes next? What exactly do I do? Well, I got a little secret for you. ViPKid actually has you covered here. They offer quite a lot in their lessons. They have visual aids. You see all these pictures and charts and graphic organizers. These help the student not only acquire the new information, but organize it in their head so they can have it better. And then we all know that ViPKid does a wonderful job in their slides of pre-teaching that vocabulary so the student can be successful. But you can also look at some difficult words and define those or teach those to the student so they can continue to have an even more successful experience. Now, the next one is sentence frames. You can find these directly in the teacher tips right there in the PowerPoint slides. You can copy and paste those right into the chat box, and they will act as a guide for the student when they're feeling a little stuck. You can even make your own sentence stems or your own sentence starters so that they're able to continue on those English skills. But there is more. So scaffolding, more options. So we can start by sharing reading with them. We know that often there is a lot to read. And so by sharing the reading and having them read 1 to 3 sentences that they can really feel successful with, and then asking them some clarifying questions will really help that process in trying to read with them. It'll give them that example that they're really needing from an English speaker too. Next one, make some connections. This is where you're going to activate their prior knowledge. What do they know? You can teach them chants and songs, mnemonic devices. These are all great for memorization, but it's also giving them a chance to build on those English skills because singing and learning like that is speaking. The next is the show and tell. So this is where your modeling is happening, especially about I do, we do, you do, all of those things as we gradually release them into that independence. The next thing is tackling the material just in real small chunks, real small chunks. So I love to circle and underline, really drawing the attention of the student to what I want them to focus on. I even really love the new revealer feature that is in the PowerPoint. So I can actually black out everything that is on the screen and just focus in on a little part, which really helps the student not feel so overwhelmed, and they can really focus in on what you're saying. The last one is very difficult, and this is allowing students to ask questions. Now, as us, it releases a lot of control from us when we do this, and we often feel like it's going to take more away from the lesson, but often it's going to save you a little time. One, because you're going to know upfront some misconceptions they might have, and it's just giving them that additional practice of being able to have a solid conversation back and forth. All right, so I have a very special student, Martina, and I love her very dearly. And so here's a little bit about Martina's educational qualities. So she is a lovely talker. She has no problem talking. She's so brave. It doesn't matter if she's saying it wrong or not. She is ready to speak every time she comes to class. Often, though, she has trouble putting together her thoughts so that they're in grammatically correct or sentences or even complete sentences. She's a high level 3, so at this point, I am expecting that she'll be able to read a lot more, but right now she's kind of demonstrating that she's more of a mid-level 2 reader. So knowing this limited information that you do know about Martina now, what would be some things that you think that I could implement in my classroom to be able to help Martina's English experience? Yes, model and shared reading. For her, that she's definitely going to get that benefit of me checking for her knowledge and understanding, and then being able to hear how a native speaker sounds. That way she'll also have some time to be able to practice. And then, of course, yes, letting her ask questions. She knows what she wants to know, and she's able to contribute. So it's time for me to figure out what's confusing her the most. She might be able to express that to me. And then, yes, of course, because she has the great ideas, she just needs help putting them together. Using the sentence frames and sentence stems is going to do a great deal for her. All right, so the most important thing to remember about scaffolding is that this isn't means to an end. It is something that is very temporary. We're going to be backing off and allowing the student to take the seat, the driver's seat, and be able to fly with their English and educational experience. So we start with them coming into our classroom, they're having trouble achieving the objectives, and maybe now the teacher is putting in the effective supports that they're needing to help them meet the objectives. They're feeling successful, and then gradually the teacher is backing it up and really letting them have the driver's seat. They are on their way to independence. I wanted to thank you so much for this opportunity to apply to the Builders program for the Mentors Workshop. And it's time for me to head to the classroom. Thank you so much. Bye.